Hello everyone who's already joined. We were just setting up, so it'll be a few minutes. Finishing setting up, I should say. Sorry, I'm checking the chats because we're still setting up the chats on the other computer. What I'm cooking to cook a Newfoundland savory dressing, which is like stuffing, but we just call it dressing back home in Newfoundland. I'll show you how to make that today while we chill, relax, enjoy some festive times on Tibbs Eve, which is a Newfoundland traditional holiday before Christmas, which really involves drinking. It was created back in the day, many, many years ago. You couldn't drink until like Christmas Day, so Christmas Eve. So Newfoundlanders decided to make a day before it drink. All right, do we have everything there? Got my drink. Going to blitz up some bread here first before we get going. Newfoundland dressing is typically made with breadcrumbs, not cubes of bread. So I'm just going to quickly blitz them up. How's everyone doing? Everyone ready for Christmas? Or your whatever holiday you celebrate? This is always done best with dry bread. Or old bread, I should say, because it absorbs more moisture when you add in your stock or whatever you're adding in. Let's go there. Move my bottle of Screech. Have you got in there, Shannon?
Yes, I am in there, so we can.
So how many people we got? We have a stream on YouTube and we have a stream on Instagram. So
82.
We're 82 on Instagram?
Yeah.
I can see the amount on YouTube here.
76. Oh, you lost some already.
Oh no. Guys.
Mama Mia 5 New York says, I'll be cooking prime rib on Christmas using your recipe.
That's awesome. That recipe gets so much hate because it's not the proper way to do things. It's just an easy way to do it. It's not the perfect way. You're not going to get the perfect result. You're not going to get exact medium all the way through. It's meant to have a Christmas day. You put it in the oven. You don't worry about it. You just enjoy your day. I do it. When I want it perfectly cooked in like exact temperatures, then I use a thermometer, which I do a lot. But on Christmas Day, the last thing I want to do is I want to spend time with family, have some fun, put the roast in. 3 hours later, 2 hours later, I can pull it out when it's ready. The best thing is it stays in the oven until you need it. And it's already rested, so it's great. So I hope you enjoy it. Where is the... Let's see.
Alright, you're at 2 o'clock right now.
2 what?
You're at 2 o'clock right now.
Alright, we're starting. We're getting this blended. Got any questions?
None yet.
None yet. People ask questions. How are you going to win prizes?
Whiskey Bent said, did the prime rib recipe last Christmas. It was off the charts good.
That's awesome. I will not be doing prime rib this year. I'm not cooking this year. Finally. Get a break from it. But somehow, guaranteed I'll be cooking at some point. You'll get to that. We're invited to my wife's sister, so we're going to go chill out there. So guaranteed at some point someone's going to be like, can you cook this for us? And I'm like, sure, why not? The Food-Dee doesn't get a break. It's my whole life.
We have a couple questions asking what you're making.
I am making traditional Newfoundland dressing. Now, if you don't know where Newfoundland's from, It's the furthest east coastal point of North America. It's a little island. It's an amazing little island. I love it. But they have a couple different foods out there in the rest of Canada. And this is one of them. And what makes it different, I don't know, different, we call dressing, or stuffing dressing in Newfoundland. So it confuses people out here on the mainland in Canada. So dressing is, what you put on salad. We call dressing what you put on, breadcrumbs and, put gravy over it. But the main thing that makes this different is Newfoundland savory. It's summer savory, we just call it savory, but it's grown in Newfoundland. Newfoundlanders are very proud of it. And if you have a cooked dinner, or jig's dinner is what we call it, which is boiled vegetables and salt meat and some meat, they make this dressing and they put it alongside, you pour your gravy over it. You cannot have a cooked dinner without this, that's it. No one will show up if you have dinner, you're like, where's the dressing? I was home a couple weeks ago, and I spatchcocked the turkey for dinner, because we did our Christmas early, a bit earlier, or Christmas dinner earlier because I was home, and I won't be home for Christmas. And I was told I need to make dressing if I'm spatchcocking the turkey. They actually wanted me to not spatchcock the turkey so they have the dressing, because they usually stuff it into the turkey, which I'm not a fan of anyways. You can't cook the turkey, right? Dries out the breast. And you gotta make sure, the temperature of the dressing gets up the temperature so you don't make everyone sick from salmonella. Alright, let's blend this. Alright. It's really warm in here. What if we heat down?
You're blending instead of chopping.
Sorry?
You're blending instead of just cutting it up?
Yeah, so blending, it's just the way Newfoundlanders do it. They like their breadcrumbs nice and breadcrumby instead of chopped up cubes. Just the way we've done it, we've always done it. You like to do it cube-wise, you can do cubes and toast it even, dry it out a bit more. I need a drink. Ooh, it's warm. Yummy.
You should let them know what fish and chips is like out there.
What?
You put the gravy and the dressing a
No,
little.
no. I don't like it on it. So Newfoundland, when we have fish and chips, they like to smother everything in gravy. Some people do. My wife hates it because it makes the fish soggy, which it does. The whole point is getting crispy fish, crispy batter on your fish, and smothering gravies. Not my thing either, but if it happens, I'm not going to be upset. Alright, so we're going to start going with this.
Houston, Cody, says Screech and Dr. Pepper.
Do we have Dr. Pepper?
We don't. That's Coke Zero. I think I drank it all. I'm sorry.
You drank it all. We are officially drinking the drink of Newfoundland. Screech. It's really good. It's what I've been drinking since I was a kid.
But not with Dr.
Kid.
Pepper.
19 years old, I should say. Okay, so I should let you guys know how, if you want to win some prizes, like a meter, it's upside down. The best way to do it is, to get entered into it, you need to ask a question. And if I answer it, I don't answer it, doesn't matter. As long as you ask the question, you'll get entered into a draw, which I will announce on Christmas Day. But for you to make sure I get you in there, into the draw, message it directly to me on my account, on Instagram or on YouTube. Send a message saying what your question is so I don't miss you, because it can be a little hectic here today cooking. I might miss a question, not write your name down. I want to make sure everyone gets in there. So just send me a direct message with your question, and I'll make sure you get entered into the draw. And I got a couple meters to give away, a couple things to go with that. I also got some Calicore olive oil. It's like the best olive oil ever. I love it. Whew! It's so warm in here with the sweater on.
You can open the window.
I'm gonna open the window. Any questions yet, people? You also need to ask me the question here too, just so I can answer some questions out live.
Scambridge asks, can you talk a little about New Gown? I'm not totally sure what that is.
New Gown?
Newgoun? Alright.
I don't know that.
Alright, we might need some clarification on that one before we...
And if I do know, I might just... Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, Newfoundland cuisine.
Newfoundland cuisine. It's different. Some people love it, some people hate it. A lot of people love it. My wife loves a lot of it except for jig's dinner. She doesn't like... It's a lot of boiled vegetables, and Newfoundland's a very poor, still is a very poor place. We don't have a lot of industry there outside of our oil and our fishery, which has died, both of it. But for the longest time, Newfoundland it only joined Canada, what, 50, 60 years, in 1940, 1950, I can't remember. One of the years.
History, should I look it up?
We're pretty young, like we're one of the youngest provinces in Canada. But we were really poor. And my grandfather, he was part of Canada part of Newfoundland when it wasn't Canada. And they just lived off what they had, which is root vegetable, which makes Jig's dinner, and a lot of like sea and game, a lot of fish, a lot of codfish. Cod is king in Newfoundland. You cannot, that's what everyone wants and that's what everyone eats. It's what supported our economy for many, many years. Not anymore, which is kind of sad. I love codfish. See, there's the other thing. People get mad at me when I say codfish. I don't know why.
Why?
Because apparently it's just cod.
Yeah.
You know what you're saying? You say cod. I could be talking about Cape Cod. People get upset when I say codfish. I've always said codfish, just something I grew up saying in Newfoundland. But that's one of the main things in the cuisine there is codfish. A lot of seafood, mussels, dried fish, dried salt fish, and hardtack, which is a dried bread, like sailor's bread. You need to soak overnight to get nice and soft. It's very similar to Irish food. Like, people would say it's bland, but I say it's not bland, but Irish food could be good. Why am I going right here? It's right here. Yes. But that's pretty much Newfoundland food. It's a lot of game, like wild game, seafood, cheap budget food. Like Jig's dinner is essentially boiled vegetables, some salt beef.
Fry it, boil it, and cover it in gravy.
Fry it, boil it, cover it in gravy. That's pretty much it. Seal's pretty big in Newfoundland still. Like you can still buy seal at the store. You can't buy it anywhere else in Canada, as far as I know. That was a big industry there until it was banned in the EU. That kind of killed that off, but Newfoundlanders are still buying seal. But yeah, that's Newfoundland cuisine. So I'm just chopping up an onion here for the stuffing.
S. Gregory asks, how long you been cooking?
Since 2005. 2005. That's a long. I went to school in 2007. I was cooking just before that, so since then, a long time. a lot of restaurants, a lot of fun. I cooked across Canada. Got through cooking a lot of restaurants, Ontario, here in Alberta, Newfoundland. My very first. So the reason, if you follow me, I like a lot of Greek food. I actually have a cookbook coming out whenever Shannon's done editing it. It's on my part, it's done. Just waiting on her now to make it all sound right. My first job, like not one of my first jobs, but like one of my favorite jobs when I started cooking was working at a Greek restaurant called Totally Greek, and I fell in love with the cuisine, the culture. I was trained by Cassie and George. They were a little old Greek couple that were amazing. Taught me everything I know, the basics of Greek food, and it just started a whirlwind of passion for the Mediterranean and food. And yeah, it's good times. Alright, just doing it. So I don't usually measure a whole lot when I do dressing. I kind of just go by eye and feel. But I'm using one onion, and then as I go along, I'll tell you what I'm using. So I used almost a whole loaf of bread. I'd say most of that bread, I'm three slices short. Just I don't want to blend another with three. So a loaf of bread, we'll say one onion, bit of chopping, dice this up. Any other questions there?
Yes, we have Wayne Pickerel. Do you ever recommend using turkey stock instead of chicken stock in stuffing?
Totally. I've done it. Newfoundland, actually, we cook a lot of turkeys. Like it's turkey soup, turkey dinner, turkey sandwiches are big out there, and we always have a lot of turkey on hand. So we end up using bones for stock. And honestly, I would use either. I'd even use, if you don't have either, vegetable stock will work. If you want to make it vegetarian, or yeah, I guess vegan. Just don't use butter. We're gonna fry this in butter. Use some vegan butter or oil. But butter adds a nice flavor to the dressing. Alright, that's chopped.
Mama Mia 5 New York says, do you have a site where you post your recipes?
I do. It's the Food-Dee.ca. All my recipes. You should see me on record videos, guys. I tongue-tie and twist all the time. It's the Food-Dee.ca. It's where I put all my recipes, all my updates, any changes, more detailed recipes too. Sometimes when I do my videos, when I'm recording, my missing ingredient amount, it is in the recipe on the website. So you can check that out. Lots of recipes there. Even stuff I don't have videos for, I post all the recipes up there. So it's always good to keep checking, see what's new. Because I do more than just the videos. I'm, making something on a whim, and I like it, it'll go up there. Trying out something new. Alright, so let's turn on our... Is that Briar? Or we got a ghost?
Yeah, no. The dog is scared of the oven that beeps.
The beeping. So that beeping sound, the dog's like, oh no, something's happening. She was terrified of we had a smoke detector go off, and ever since that, any beeping noise, she's like, no, I'm out. Alright, I need butter. How much butter we got over here? Not enough. Also, another delicious Newfoundland treat, food. We have a place called Purity. We have lots of candies and biscuits and cookies they make. Alright, so I'm going to cook this in about a nice amount of butter. I usually go, because it's going to go into a lot of bread. So I like to cook in about a quarter cup of butter, just to lightly saute the onions off it. And if I find I need a bit more butter, I'll add more. If not, because it depends on the size of the onion. I'm using one onion, but it's a medium-sized onion. But if it's a large onion, I might need a bit more butter. Smell that off. So the great thing with this recipe is, this is a very basic, traditional Newfoundland recipe, but you can add lots of stuff into it. You want to add, chopped up apricots, some sausage, raisins, craisins. Add all that stuff and it adds great flavor to it. Do it for a Newfoundlander, they might not eat it. Most of them are like, nah, I'll just eat it traditional way. But I like adding, fruits, apples, dried apples good. Melt that down. How are you doing?
We have a question. I know you love Mediterranean food, but what's your favorite dish that isn't from the Mediterranean?
Like, are we talking like guilty pleasure dish or like overall dish? My guilty pleasure is I love burgers. Like, I love hamburgers. They're one of my favorite. Smash burgers, top. If I'm talking like not guilty pleasure, something I eat all the time, what do I eat a lot of?
It's not from the Mediterranean?
It's not from the Mediterranean.
We used to do a lot of stir fries a long time ago.
Stir fries? Yeah, kind of. I don't do a lot of stir fries anymore. Not from the Mediterranean. A lot of my food is from the Mediterranean. I cook normally. Steak.
And brisket.
Steak and brisket.
Brisket nachos.
I'm trying to perfect my brisket skills. I make a really kick-ass nachos, like with smoked pulled pork or brisket. Oh, they're so good. So actually, that'd probably be my favorite guilty pleasure. They're kind of on par with cheeseburger, but steak is my favorite go-to. I love cooking. Or fish and chips. Newfoundland fish and chips. When I went home about 2 weeks ago, I had it like 5 times.
Every other night?
Every other night. Cod tongues is also another big Newfoundland food. My wife won't let me eat them. Actually, when I was in London, I ordered last month, or a month and a half ago, when we were in London, I ordered a cod's head from a restaurant called Fallow. Amazing restaurant. Loved it really. They're amazing. If you're ever in London, go to Fallow. They have a cod's head on the menu, like a full-on cod's head. And me being a Newfoundlander, I had to go, I need to buy that and try it out. So I ordered it. What did the link is today? And this giant head came out. Everyone at the table's like, I'm not eating that. Now, keep in mind, I was at the table like 3 or 4 Newfoundlanders. And even they were like, no, we're going to pass. It was really good. They had it in a sriracha butter emulsification. That was really tasty. Yeah, so if you're ever in London, try it at that place. I think I posted a picture of it a couple of weeks ago when I had it. But if you don't like body parts, you like animal parts, don't go look at the picture. It is a head. I'm just used to seeing that growing up and being in kitchens. Alright, so we're going to lightly saute tongue twisting. I'm going to lightly saute this for a few minutes, just to render it down a bit, soften up the onions, and then we'll add in some salt. Actually, we add in salt now.
You have Lauren Bennett asks,
Hi, Lauren.
What's the favorite Newfoundland dessert as we were making steamed partridge berry pudding.
I mean, that's pretty up there. Blueberry pie, blueberry duff. So blueberry pie is, blueberry pie. Blueberry duff is a boiled blueberry dish. Newfoundlanders love. What else do we like? Oh, what does Mom always eat? She always orders or gets when we're home. That's one of them. Blueberry pie. Mom loves blueberry pie. I love blueberry pie. Newfoundland has some of the best blueberries in the world. And like, I will die on that hill. So will Shannon. We were out there hiking down a trail one year, and I turned around and Shannon's like 100 feet back. I'm like, what are you doing? She's picking the blueberries on the trail because they're everywhere. And she's like, they're so sweet, they're like candy. So, blueberry pie, blueberry duff. Partridge berries are really big back home, like partridge berry jam. And they're used in baking. It's like a cloudberry, isn't it? It's a berry from Europe. It's a cloudberry.
Oh, should I Google that too?
Yeah, partridge. Not partridge berry, cloudberry. Sorry, cloudberry. Bank apples. Bank apples. What am I talking about? Bank apples are a big fruit back there. Bank apple jam, and I think it's called a cloudberry in Europe because it looks like a little cloud, orange cloud. All right, I think I got a couple questions here on YouTube. They don't stay up on the screen.
I'm asking them.
Oh, you're seeing them all?
Oh yeah, I went back. I did miss one.
Oh.
What other strange foods have you eaten? That was after cod tongues.
I've had horse meat. And while I was in cooking school, we had horse tartare. Sorry guys, just checking here. Yeah, I've had horse tartare in cooking school. So that's probably my strangest outside of seal. But seal to me is not strange, it's just something I grew up with. Cod tongues. That's part of that one, I guess. Rabbit, that's not a very big thing in Canada, but...
Chicken hearts.
Chicken hearts, again, you can get those in the steakhouse here.
Well, that's weird to me.
What else I've had that's weird? They're out there. Kokoretsi. I've had kokoretsi, which is a Greek dish. It's an Easter dish where they take the innards of a lamb and they wrap it with its intestine and roast it over a fire. I think it's the heart and kidneys, I think. Can't remember. We made it here once. That's probably the weirdest thing I had for like animal. It's good. It's not something I eat every day. So I'm a chef. I need to try it at least once. So.
Green Dawn asks, "Are you toasting the bread?"
I am not. So usually, like I said earlier, is Newfoundlanders usually make it with a couple-day-old bread. Newfoundlanders make a lot of homemade bread back home, so if they have bread goes stale pretty quickly, they will use stale bread. I've toasted it myself because I like to add that extra layer of flavor and absorption of the stock. But totally do it. I recommend it. Using dry breadcrumbs as opposed to semi-soft, moist breadcrumbs. It's going to make them less soggy and hold that stock a bit more. Yeah, so totally toast them. Just Newfoundlanders don't really do that. They'll just grab some old bread. Oh, it smells good. It smells like Christmas dinner. Starting with Christmas dinner. I've been cooking this month like crazy, guys. Putting out recipes left, right, and center. We put out our turkey, our eggnog, our roasted potatoes. If you haven't tried my roasted potatoes, you need to make them. They're the most addictive things you'll ever have, and so tasty. We got a couple more recipes coming out next week. We have a lot of stuff going on this month. I've been cooking nonstop. Outside of the cooking for YouTube, I do other jobs for other companies, and it's been a lot of cooking. It's gonna be nice having a few days where I don't have to cook. Don't have to cook.
Linda Hoffman asks, "Have you ever eaten sweetbreads?"
Yes, I have. There's a recipe coming out in February that involves something with that. Can't say yet what it is, but yes, I have had them. I'm not a huge fan of it. Sweetbreads to me are like, I don't know, I'll eat them, but if they're there, it's not something I go out and search for. It's a little, I don't know. They're okay. We made them in cooking school. I've had them in cooking school. I've had them, at some restaurants, but that's how that. I don't really cook them. Except for this video coming up.
Jeb1217, any recipes using quince?
Quince? I don't have any because we actually can't. It's hard to get them here. It's a fruit. I don't have any recipes.
I saw a lot of it in what island? What was an island? It was everywhere.
Wasn't it in Corfu? I think it was Corfu. I don't personally. It's something I want to cook more with. I feel like I brought home quint preserves. Where are they? I brought home. I will have recipes.
It's in the cupboard somewhere.
I'll have recipes coming with it. I did bring some home from Greece. Yeah, something I want to work on. It's just sometimes it's hard to get Mediterranean food over here, fresh in the middle of Canada. I live in Alberta, not Newfoundland anymore, so it's a lot harder to get some of those specialty items. And sometimes it's easier. So cooking the onions here, you can add some color to these, add extra color. I go a little bit, just add a little bit of that browning onion, caramelized onion flavor. Some people don't like it. I don't know why you wouldn't like caramelized onions. I think they're delicious. I don't know, a lot of recipes say not the caramelized onions. I'm like, it adds flavor. Caramelized onions. Unless you're trying to go for a pure white like risotto, and something like that where you don't want the color. Always caramelize your onions. We're slowly sweating these out. These are taking longer than I thought.
Annabelle Ann says, daughter just dropped off a 17-pound prime rib. Do I still count the bones at 15 minutes a bone and turn off and leave in oven for 2 hours?
How many bones is it? Because I've only tested up to 6 bones. I don't know above that if it's going to work.
But up to 6 bones it should work?
Up to 6 bones it should work. It depends, and also, like, there's also been mixed on gas ovens and new ovens. So I'm going to try to explain this. So, gas ovens, we've had people make it say it failed, it didn't cook it because it cooled down way too quickly. And I've had other people say they have a gas oven and it worked perfectly. So if you have a gas oven, it could be hit or miss, it may not work. And the other one was ovens with a fan, newer ovens that have a cool down fan. I made my recipe with a newer oven that has the cool down fan, have a Frigidaire gallery, and that one worked. That's the one that's in the video. I had no problems with it, but I've had people say that it cools down too quickly and it doesn't work. So maybe on a bigger piece of meat, it might not work the same as a small piece, just because it's less time to cook, maybe. But when it comes to that stuff, it's hit or miss, a bit of trial and error. Sometimes you gotta adjust recipes. Recipes are just a guideline. Sometimes you gotta play with your, everyone's oven's different, everyone's flour is different. I'm making a recipe here for pastry the other day, and our flour here absorbs water like crazy, and it takes a lot of extra water to hydrate the flour. And so you always gotta play with it. You try it out first, see if it works, and if you gotta adjust, you adjust. I know prime rib's not cheap. It's not something you want to be playing around with. But if you're always worried when you're doing it, throw a thermometer in just to be safe. If you don't want to waste the meat. And if you find that at that time it's still not cooked, leave it in there, turn the oven on a low temperature, just to bring it up to that temp you want. Just to be safe, because you're not wasting the meat if you're afraid it won't work in your oven. Yeah.
Oh, it is 9 bones apparently.
Oh, that's a. How much did you spend? A 9-bone prime rib. Whew. I'm coming to your house for dinner. If you got that big of a size, I would almost. I don't know if I would recommend doing it that way, just because I'm not sure if a 9-bone will work. Just because it's a long time at 500 degrees. That's I might start burning at that point. But again, the more meat you have in the oven, the longer it takes to cook it. I would use a thermometer at that size. You don't want to take it. I wouldn't risk it too much on Christmas dinner if you haven't done it before. This is something you want to try just before, before a big dinner, you're having people over. Try it on a smaller roast. See how it works in your oven. But for that one, I would definitely use a meter, because I use these things all the time. Or if you don't have one of those, just a straight up thermometer. Check it every now and then. That's my best suggestion. I don't want to see you waste probably $1,000 of meat.
She says her daughter is a slaughterman, so butcher hooked them up.
Oh, I need to meet this butcher.
Lauren Bennett has a question: when cooking a turkey, brine or not?
Dry brine. Always dry brine. You're cooking a turkey, put a bunch of salt on it the night before, 2 days before, put it in the fridge. I spatchcock it so it spreads out nice and even. Also, brining a turkey is so much work. You need bins the size of my slush bucket just to put the turkey in. And then you gotta have the room in the fridge for it on top of everything else. Because you want to keep it at the proper temperature while it's brining. Alright. So I do dry brine, which you salt it, nice even coating of salt, and you put it in the fridge and let it dry brine, which evaporates the moisture, crisps up the skin, Great results from it. It penetrates the meat. It's nice and juicy and salt, seasoned inside. All right, so our onions are done here. I'm gonna throw in. See, this is me not using measurements for Newfoundland savory dressing. Oh, it smells so good. So if you can't get Newfoundland savory dressing, just use summer savory or any herbs really will work here. But if you want that Newfoundland flavor, this is Newfoundland in the bottle. This is Newfoundland herb. It's pretty much in our fish cake. Everything we make has this stuff in it, outside of desserts. Fish cakes, fish and brews. I'm pretty sure it's have it. So just sprinkle in about a tablespoon or two. I adjust it later. I like to toast it up a bit here just to weaken up those flavors. If I find it needs a bit more just before I'm done, I'll add a bit more. Once it goes into the breadcrumbs. So just cook that for a minute or two. You could add garlic here too. Newfoundlander might, slap you for doing it, but I'm a chef, not just a Newfoundlander. I like adding flavor.
Fox Pierce has a suggestion for that 9-bone roast. So cut it in half before roasting. Would that work?
No, because it actually doesn't shorten the cooking time. It still is, because the amount of meat in the oven cools the oven down, and it still need to cook for 7 minutes. So if I have 2 roasts and I have 2 bones each, I cook it as a 4-bone. So I've got that question a lot. I've tried it, and you got to cook it as the 4. It's just more mass in the oven, therefore it's got to work longer. All right, that's done. Let's move this over here for a second. Move our induction oven. All right, we got our breadcrumbs. You know what I didn't do? I did not make any stock. Hold on, guys. That's a quick fix. I have frozen stock downstairs I was going to take out, but I forgot. So we're going to use some better de bouillon.
Cheating.
That's not cheating. Sometimes this is what happens. You got to do what you got to do. You're cooking dinner. You have no fresh stock. You use what you got. It's like I get so, oh man, cutting up that prime rib, I get so much yelled at for using this knife. It's a serrated knife. I have a slicing knife. It just was not here with me when I was doing that video. I'll prove it to you. I have a slicing knife. I use what I have. That's part of the game. Use what you have in your tools. If you don't have a slicing knife, use a serrated knife. There's you're cooking for your family. You're not cooking for a Michelin star chef. Use what you have. Stop putting up barriers, people. You want to slice it with a bread knife? You want to cut your steak with that knife? Go for it. No one's going to judge you. They shouldn't, at least.
We have a couple of people asking what's the herb again, so some people might have missed it.
It's called savory. Do we have the package still?
Probably not. Here, I don't know. Where does it go?
No, I do. No, I do.
Oh, you do?
Ha ha ha. All right, so people, this is what it is here. It's called Newfoundland Savory. Let's see if I can get a good shot here. Here. Newfoundland Savory. Oh, you can see that here. There we go. From Mount Scio. That's the herb. If you can't get Newfoundland Savory, summer savory is pretty much the same thing. Just Newfoundlanders think it tastes different. Kind of does a little bit. Maybe I'm on that side. It's gone quiet all of a sudden. That's a couple of tablespoons of that. So if I'm using like better the bouillon, I should do that while I'm talking. It's salty, so I adjust the amount of salt I'll add into the bread later once I add this in. Do a couple of minutes right here, just to warm it up and dissolve that.
Where do you get savory in Toronto?
A Newfoundland store. That's the best place to get Newfoundland savory. You should have 1 or 2. I'm pretty sure you do. I've been to one before out there. I just don't remember what it was to. Because I used to live in Toronto, Barrie, Innisfil, 40 minutes north of Toronto. I was in Toronto a lot with work. So seriously though, if you guys don't have stock or you don't have time to make stock, instead of buying the stuff you get in a carton, this Better Than brand is by far the best I've ever had for like pre-made stuff. It just tastes really good, and I like it. I highly recommend it over like Campbell's, or box stock. I think that stuff is like lightly flavored water. This has a bit of flavor to it. Not as good as homemade stuff. Another tip too, if you have turkeys from Costco or chickens from Costco, they're using the leftover bones, just put them in your freezer, making a stock of those. I'm gonna make a video on how to do that. So I'm sure there's 100,000 videos on how to make stock online, but hey, mine's not out there yet. So
Jeb asks, how does savory compare to sage?
completely different flavor. I don't know how to it's a different flavor. It's not the same herb. You could use sage, totally. It would work. It's not gonna taste the same. I don't know how to describe the difference, but I don't eat a lot of sage either.
What's savory close to?
Savory. It's its own flavor. It's very distinct. Like it smells and distinctive, and it's hard to explain it. That's good. Let's see. I can't even put like what it would smell like. I don't know. It's savory to me. I can't put anything on it. What would you think that smells like?
What does it smell like to me? Like tea.
Okay, tea. It smells like tea. Not really, but
It smells like a tea. It's like kind of sweet.
I guess yeah. It's got that floral. Yeah, it smells like a tea. But honestly, any herb when making dressing that you like will work in a dressing. Us Newfoundlanders love savory for some reason. It's because we grow it. That's why. When times are harsh, that's all we have. We use what we got. We use a pair of gloves for this.
If you ran out of savory, what would you use?
Thyme, rosemary. I don't know if I'd use oregano as much, but oregano would work in it. But thyme's the main one I would use. That's probably the most common herb. Fresh thyme, dry thyme. It's tasty. It'll work. Sage will also work. It's going on. All right. Let's throw our onions in. So maybe I could have used another onion for this. I might be one onion too small, but that's fine. There we go. And then we give this a nice mix. Be careful if you're doing this right from the stove. It is hot oil and onion.
Have you ever done stuffing with alcohol?
No, I have not. It's not something I would usually do, unless I was cooking out like meat and I deglaze the pan with it. Outside that, I haven't really. I think it'd be too strong. I wouldn't do it. No, I haven't. All right, let's pour in our stock. So what we're going here is not to completely drench it. I have probably 2 or 3 cups here. I'm not going to use it all. I'm getting just enough so it holds together. So I'm just going to pour a bit in. And then we're going to give it a mix. And I will show you the consistency we're looking for. All right, so right now it's still a bit dry. Just give it a second, get it all in there. I think I can use a little bit more. Just a splash more. So we'll probably use about a cup. So a cup and a half so far on this. So then what we're looking for is just where it holds together. So yeah, we're looking just like that. It's just holding together. Because we don't want it too wet, it just becomes soggy and it's not tasty. And yeah, so that's what we're looking for. We're just holding together. All right.
What other Christmas dishes are on your table usually?
My table.
Your table.
This is definitely one of them. We usually have roasted potatoes or mashed potatoes. Broccoli is a big thing on our table. My wife likes ambrosia salad at Christmas dinner. I do not.
No, we call it overnight fruit salad.
Overnight fruit salad.
It has
I call it dessert.
Special thing.
It's not right. I don't think anything with marshmallows goes on a table and says it's not dessert. If it has marshmallows, it's a dessert. Ambrosia salad is a dessert. It is not a side. My Brussels sprouts are pretty big. I love my Brussels sprouts. I made a new recipe this year, which will probably be a standard staple on every Christmas display I have. If you haven't checked them out, they are in my recipe videos. They're really good. You liked them, didn't you?
I love them.
Like Jen wasn't a fan of Brussels sprouts until she had those. Yeah.
What would you put on the broccoli?
Butter.
Just butter. Just butter and broccoli.
I would actually roast the broccoli and then toss it in some oil and some salt and pepper. Keep it simple. I like broccoli as it is, but I like a crunchy broccoli. I don't like brown, soggy, boiled, overcooked broccoli. But yeah, roast it, bit of oil, salt, pepper, got a nice little bit of color to it. That's what you want. Use pan. All right. So now we're gonna bake our stuffing. Turn the oven on to 375. You turn the oven on to 375. So you can do this two ways. You put your stuffing in to this beautiful Christmassy looking dish. Yeah. Santa's like with his reindeer. I think that's Santa. Looks like Santa. Where'd it go? Alright. So you can bake this covered with tin foil so you don't get any crispy top. But I like contrast. I like cooking this in the pan with no top on at 375 until it's nice and golden and heat it up.
Jeb serves fruit citrus salad as the first course. I agree with Jeb.
Sorry, Jeb.
Fruit.
Fruit's fine. Not marshmallows. Alright, so my container's a little big, but that's fine. Just spread it out. I wanted to use the Christmas container. Although I do have one with snowflakes, don't I?
You do, but it's more like a cake pan.
Yeah, it's more of a cake pan. Technically, this is kind of like a cake pan, I guess. Alright, so we put this in. Alright. Oh, forgot. Taste it to make sure it's seasoned correctly. Oh yeah, that's perfect. There's enough salt in that to season it. If I used homemade stock, I definitely would have used a bit of salt in here. Yummy. Oh, that's really good.
We have a couple other dishes being suggested.
What's that?
Asparagus with the roast beef and
Also
green bean casserole.
Green bean casserole. I like Greek green bean casserole and a tomato sauce. Oh, we should start making bouillon for Christmas dinner. Yeah, might be out of season, but it's still good. So bouillon's like it's like the Greek ratatouille. It's roasted vegetables in a tomato sauce, and lots of olive oil, like a crazy amount of olive oil. It's so good. People are like, that's a lot of olive oil. That's where all the flavors to, and people agree when they eat it. It's also a recipe coming in my cookbook, so yeah. Also, I'll be giving away one free cookbook when it comes out to someone who asks a question, and you'll get entered to win. It is it's a cookbook called Totally Greek, the Food-Dee Odyssey. It's just my time at being a Greek chef and traveling to Greece, and all the recipes I learned. I put a lot of passion to work on this. All the photography I've done, the writing is shared with Shannon. She's helped with the writing a lot. As being a chef, I'm not a great writer, so she's helped edit, all my grammar mistakes. As chefs, like when we write recipes down, they're literally like, oh, I have one here.
Yeah, you do. Spanico. Or what is that?
This is Spanico. This is my recipes when I'm writing recipes. Are like, it's ingredients and then a quick direction on the bottom when I do. So I have to get that expanded on and detailed more with Shannon. So she asks me what I need to do, and she writes into a nice, pretty. That's garbage, anyways. Nice, pretty little recipe for me. So there are my recipes with Shannon's help of editing and making it easier for you guys to read. Because if you read mine, you'd be like, "What is he talking about?"
No, it goes mix, add, mix, add, cook.
I mean, that's what cooking is. Mix, add, cook, mix, add, cook. Let's get a t-shirt. Mix, add, cook.
No, add,
mix, cook. I like it. That's not a bad shirt. I should do it. Add, mix, cook. Alright, so this is ready to go in the oven. We're just waiting for the oven to heat up. It'll take about 15-20 minutes to cook, which will be perfect, and I'll show you what it looks like in the end. I'm just checking the screen here, make sure we're still recording or broadcasting. Where's everyone going? We had like 80 at one point. Guess no one's going to sit down for an hour and watch me, are they?
Yeah. We have a question. What's your least favorite dish to prepare?
What's my least favorite dish? Oh, I know I have one. What is it? There's one I can't stand making all the time. Usually it's anything that's monotonous. Like I love souvlaki, it's fine for making at home, but when I was in restaurants, making souvlaki, skewering for an hour and a half at a time, just skewering the meat one after another, like 5 different types of meat, each took about an hour. You're like, yeah, that's probably the thing I hated the most when I was doing Greek cooking, was skewering that much meat. But yeah, that's it. I enjoy a lot of cooking. There's not much I don't like. I'm not like baking. When I bake, like I'm not a baker. I know how to bake, but it's not my favorite thing to do. I rather cook food than bake because it's more of a chemistry, and you'll find a lot of chefs are like that. But I'm trying to get, hone my craft in the baking side. My years of dabbling and playing with it and doing it, and I won't say I'm the world's best baker. I'll say I'm good at what I need to do. But baking it's more stressful because if you mess something up, you have to go back and test it again until repeatedly until you figure out exactly what's messing up. Sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it takes a lot more work to figure it out, especially if you're developing something. Cooking, you can figure it out a lot quicker. And yeah, I just like changing things on the fly. Can't do that with baking. Everything's gotta be measured and with a scale. Everything should be weighed with a scale. Anyone who people who measure volume, it's great, but it's not accurate. So when I give you guys my recipes, I try to do it on a scale. So grams. Google if you need to convert it to ounces and pounds. But it's more accurate. Like when you're baking, you need to have exact measurements. And your cup of flour might be different size cup than my cup of flour. My scoop might be bigger. Your scoop might be smaller, which will affect the end product. And you might be like, AJ, your recipe sucks. It didn't work out. We didn't do it in weight. So they're like $10, $15. Grab a scale. They're very, very useful.
Donna Rama wants some hints on how to make the perfect prime rib. That's what we're having for Christmas. Any tips?
If you want to do my recipe for the easy way, that's it's on the website. But if you want something more, you want to hit a certain temperature, perfect. Reverse sear is probably the next route I would go outside of that. It's where you put it in the oven up, I think it's like 250. You bring it up to temperature slowly over time, might take a couple of hours. You need a thermometer for that. And then when it gets to the desired temperature you want to serve it at, or just before you want to serve it at, so say if you want it at 150 or 140, you bring it to like 130, and then you blast it at high heat to bring it up to caramelize the outside of the meat. And where it's been sitting in the oven that long, it's going to have a lot less moisture outside, so it should brown pretty quickly. And then adding a nice jus or horseradish sauce to go with it. I know I have a horseradish sauce on my website that everyone loves with their prime rib. I know my wife's mother-in-law can't get enough of it. She literally puts it on everything.
Your wife's mother-in-law?
Or my mother-in-law, sorry. It's the screech. It's definitely the screech. What else we got?
No questions right now. Someone questions.
Come on, guys, let's questions. We still got a few minutes before we put this in the oven and finish it off. Yeah. I should pour another drink. Let's do that while we wait. So, I'll also go over some prizes I have here while we wait, so we're not just standing around twiddling our thumbs. Add a bit of screech. Don't drink unless you're legal age. There we go. We got an actual battery. We're running, I think, off batteries today.
What would you consider your signature dish?
My signature dish. What is it, Shannon? What do I cook that's... What does everyone ask for all the time?
Spinach with grilled cheese.
That's not my signature. I guess technically it is my signature dish. I always wish to cook something for someone. What would it be? Ooh, I don't know. I make it like seafood chowder. I think is my thing. Just from the coast, and I love it, and I cook it a lot. Even though my wife hates it, she won't eat it. She doesn't eat seafood. Salmon. She'll eat salmon and codfish, deep fried cod. That's my signature dish, I guess. Seafood chowder.
Fox Pierce asks, how can you make a gravy from a spatchcock turkey?
Check out my website on YouTube or on my website. I show you how to do it. But all you do is when you do your spatchcock turkey, you put a trivet of vegetables underneath, season them, some herbs, throw it in there. So like celery, carrots, whatever you want. Celery, carrots, onions. Cut them up in chunks, throw them on, roast it the same way you would roast your turkey. You put your turkey on top of it, the juices will drop down onto that and cook the vegetables at the same time. And then just do as you do normally. Take your turkey off, let that rest, and then start making your gravy. However you want to make it. You want to think of it roux, you want to do cream. The world is your oyster. Any more questions? Okay, so I got a couple meters to give out. I'm going to be giving out as prizes. These are the meter pluses, pro pluses, meter plus. Yes. Yeah, they're a meter plus. So these are pretty cool. I use mine all the time. I have the new one. This little guy here. This little guy. I use them like literally when I'm smoking meat. I'm doing roasts. Just helps me get that right temperature. I don't use it when I'm doing my prime rib. Just saying, I don't. But anything else I do, or if I want to get the right temperature, I need to hit a certain temperature with the prime rib. I will use these. They're very accurate, and there's one extra layer of protection to make sure you hit the right temperatures. I use them when I'm searing on the stove, like a steak, a thick cut steak. When I'm smoking my meats, they always go in. Helps me hit that perfect temperature, and when to pull my meat off. I know a lot of people who smoke will go by feel. Do a bit of both. Temperature gives you numbers and solid data. Cool thing with it is it connects to your phone, so it keeps a log of all the stuff you've done. So if you have previous cooks with your meters, it will tell you what your last one was like, how long it took to get the temperature. It also tells you the external temperature of the air, so the ambient air in the cooker. So that's really good to know. If you're cooking at 250 and your oven's potent out 400, you're like, it's probably good to know that you need to get your oven checked. So we got a couple of those. I'll probably throw in a couple of cloths to go with those. I got a couple bottles of Calicroy olive oil. This is great. This is a Canadian olive oil that comes from Greece. They're like a Canadian secret. It's very tasty olive oil. It's only for Canada. So if you are a winner in the US, I will send you a bottle, but you will not be able to buy it in the States for now. I don't know if they plan on ever going down there, but I will send it out to you. Enjoy it. It's really good. It comes from the Peloponnese area of Greece. The family who owns it are really nice, amazing people. Shout out to them. Sparrows, shout out. They're really good. They will be making my prime rib roast video. I know they do that every year. They love it. But they are nice people, and they make a great product. And if you win and you're not from Canada, you'll be lucky to try it.
And a comment and a question. Someone is saying, Fox Pierce says, I'm making your roasted potatoes with my prime rib.
Yes! Do it! You will not be disappointed.
And Luca Carraro, sorry if I said your name wrong. Who are your favorite cooks on YouTube?
Oh, first let's go back to Fox. If you can, use like beef tallow or duck fat instead of olive oil, or a mixture of both. It's going to give you a much nicer flavor for Christmas. I might have mentioned that in the recipe notes. I can't remember, but if you want to add a little bit extra, something special for Christmas, tallow, beef fat, lard, something a little nicer. But yeah, and then my favorite YouTube cooks. Ooh, I have a few of them.
That's a good one. That's a good question.
Ooh. Who asked that?
Luca Carrero.
All right, so I got Akis as my Greek cook. I love the guy. He's amazing. Akis. He's a Greek chef. Check him out. He's great. He's fun. I think he was on Master Chef Greece. I think that's what made him. I think that's what made him popular. My boy Philip Lamone. He is amazing. I think that's usually his last name. Not sure. And then who else do I like? Who else do I watch a lot of?
I recognize their faces, but I couldn't tell you their names.
I watch a lot. Who are my favorites? I asked on the spot.
The guy that wears the hat.
The guy that wears the hat. Who's the guy that wears the hat?
No. You showed me a picture of him, no.
Like, I watch a lot of YouTube chefs and I can't even think of any.
I like the French guy, the Alex. Is that his name? Alex the French guy?
Alex the French guy. I think it's just Alex now. I don't have my phone to look it up. My list of people.
Oh yeah, you don't.
My phone's being used. Who is it? What is it? I will come back to you on that when it hits me, because we'll just not remembering is a form of deja vu, by the way. You gotta stop thinking about it; it'll come to your head. So give me a minute.
How's that a form of deja vu?
It is apparently like if you're trying to remember something and you can't, it's a form of deja vu. I didn't say it was deja vu; it's a form of it. You need to stop thinking about it, and it'll come to you. You block yourself by trying to keep thinking about it. I learned that somewhere, just not sure where. Might have dreamt it.
I think you dreamt that out.
No, I Google it. Oh, what? I guess you gotta stop. Gotta stop thinking.
Nope. I don't know.
No? Okay.
I think you made that up.
Alright, so our oven's at 375 in like 2 seconds. I'm gonna throw this in the oven and let it cook and then show you what it looks like when it's done. And there you go. Like I said, you can put... Told you it was done in a couple seconds. I'm good. You can put a layer of tinfoil on top to steam it instead of giving it a crispy top. I like the crispy top. Bit of contrast. Who was it? I can't think. Why is this so hard to think of my favorite YouTube chef?
I don't know, you watch? Oh, Josh.
Josh? Josh is good. He's not my favorite. He's just, I don't know. I like Josh, but it's not my favorite. Like, binging with Babish is always good, but I don't know. I like them when they first came out. They kind of, I don't know, they're not the same as they used to be. I guess that's what happens when you become a big YouTuber. Things change a bit.
What's the guy?
Oh, Brian Lagerstrom. I love Brian. Brian's amazing. Lagerstrom. He's amazing. One of my favorites. I followed him when he was like 8,000 followers, and now he's like 1 million. We still love Brian. Share the wealth.
What's the photographer guy? He does like the really complicated top-down shots. He's watching Dennis. No?
Dennis the Prescott. He's a Canadian from the East Coast. He is another huge. I love that guy. He's great. I have his cookbook. He's fun. He's down to earth. I like him. It's pretty cool. Check him out. Dennis the Prescott. Gotta represent the Canadian ones.
The guy with the hat is Canadian too.
What guy with the hat?
I don't know. We watch him on TikTok.
We watch him on TikTok.
He's from Canada. Nova Scotia? Maybe? Maybe he's not even a chef.
Pete?
What? I don't know. Is that him?
Pete's not really a chef.
Oh.
Pete's more of a critic, I guess, at this point. He does a Saturday morning cooking. Is that one? The one we watch in
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Pete.
Oh, okay.
No, Pete's more of a critic and he's more informational than cooking. He does his cooking breakfast morning show, but I like Pete. Pete's good.
So moral of the story was Dennis, Philip, and Akis.
And Brian.
And Brian.
I have a few. There's different things. They have different categories. That's it.
What veggies are you having with your spatchcock turkey? Just curious.
I like the roast potatoes, but if I'm not doing the roast potatoes, because roast potatoes require a little bit of work. If I'm not doing those, I'll do mashed potatoes. I will do Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts. I'm weird like that. Glazed carrots are huge. I love great glazed carrots, like maple glaze. Oh, so good. What else do we do for veggies? Broccoli's always in there. Sweet potatoes sometimes. I'll do a sweet potato puree or mash, give or take. Probably a lot more mash stuff this year. We got a baby, so who's just 1 year old and eating all kinds of food, so there's gonna be a lot more diversity in our food this year. More stuff for her. Are you gonna eat this? Yes? Okay. This is what we have every year.
We're gonna throw it.
Oh, or she throw it. And I cook her like great meals and then it ends up on the floor and you're like, that only took 6 hours to make, thank you. It's part of being a dad, I guess.
Jeb suggested somebody on YouTube. Where was it? And then there was a second one. Victoria Suhan Yang.
I haven't heard of her. I'll check it out. Write that down.
Oh, she's the what do you want to eat before dying? Although not a chef.
Me? Or is that like?
No, that's who she is.
Oh, I was like.
She's the what do you want to eat before dying person. Although that could be a good question. What do you want to eat before dying?
A steak.
It's dark.
I want steak. Prime rib. Grilled over charcoal. Yeah. Or some seafood. With some seafood. Surf and turf. Gotta have both.
What is the side? Are you just saving all the room for the meat?
Ooh, I need to show you guys something. I'll be back in like 2 seconds. Try to entertain them.
With what?
Talk to them.
Anything to say? You really have to hurry.
I'm hurrying. Talk to them.
AJ. Alright, I'm not very entertaining. I'm very sorry. Gonna lose people with me. All my jokes are saved for the cookbook. I don't really have jokes outside of that. I just feed off other people's jokes and then riff with that.
What jokes?
Man, you gotta be up here.
Interesting. This is my my Christmas special. This is another Newfoundland favorite at the holidays. If I can open it. This is Newfoundland slush. I have a recipe for it, by the way, on my website. Ooh-doo-doo. So let's put it in this. So this is essentially a simple syrup with, sorry, I shot the stairs, with pineapple juice, a rum, and some lemon juice. And it's put in the freezer and you stir it every day so you make a nice slush. I made the mistake of using a lower alcoholic spirit this year, so it kind of froze pretty quickly. It should take a week to freeze. So mine froze within 2 days, and I was stirring it. So now, to get it, it still works. I just need to strain it a little bit to get it out, to get a nice slush.
You just got a snow cone.
Yeah, it's a snow cone. Well, it's essentially what it is.
Well, no, before it was a slush, now it's a snow cone.
No, this is what it looked like when it was done. It's just you have to make it. You make it a slush by adding the drink after. You know that, right?
Well.
So we'll fill that up. This is everyone's favorite at Christmas time. Everyone devours this stuff.
What is your opinion of Wagyu beef?
Okay. I think it's something you should try. I don't think it's something you should buy a lot because I think it's extremely expensive for what you get. And it's something you should share. I wouldn't sit I bought a tomahawk Wagyu steak this summer, and it's really rich. I think we shared between 3 people.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah,
it was good. It was really tasty, but for the price, I mean, all meat's expensive now, but for the price, try it if you can get a chance to try it, or if you can afford it, because I think that one steak was like almost $200 or $200, and I was lucky. I was doing a promo. I don't spend $200 on a steak. I would be killed. Shot.
They call me the miser.
Miser. So with this slushy, we add some Sprite to it, or whatever drink you want. Then we take a straw, break it up a bit, because it tends to freeze together once you add liquid. It's because it has lower alcohol content, but it should. There we go, slush. What was I saying?
Steak is expensive. I don't know.
Yeah, I personally rather just get a good prime steak. I think sometimes the Wagyu's overrated. Like, it's a lot of fat in it, and it's really rich. And you gotta be, I don't know, if you mess it up, it's a lot of money to mess up on one steak. But, like, something you should try. I would probably eat out if you're not like confident cooking it. But try it at least once in your life. Woo! Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
What's your process for creating a new dish?
Trial and error. Like, YouTubers make it look so easy and stress-free when you're developing a recipe, but there's behind the scenes, and this is what I need to stress to people. When I'm developing a recipe, it could be a week or two of trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, and are you waiting for that to thought?
No.
So like I might get a recipe right away and have it within 1 or 2 tries, and it might take me 17 tries on a recipe before I get it the way I like it. But then it's one of those things like I don't let it discourage me if I mess it up. Like I messed up a pastry yesterday, and I went out and redid it. If I had the patience and didn't rush right away to maybe remake it, the pastry is actually not that bad. Like, it's really rare when you mess it up to the point of you can't use it. Because I made dinner out of that after I came back and remade it. And because I didn't want to waste it. And it was fine. You know, it wasn't perfect, but that's part of cooking at home. It doesn't have to be perfect. But when I'm making recipes for you guys, I want to make sure you can recreate it so it is perfect. And not getting a product that's not right. And it's not done right. So for me, it takes a couple tries, but the process is research. Use my knowledge base to start with, and then build off that to perfect it and make it different. Like I was inspired for the Brussels sprouts by Fallow, the restaurant, and I seen the recipe. I was like, that's great. I want to make a version of that. So I used the basis of what they did, their techniques, and I made adjustments for my recipe. So that was actually pretty quick to adjust because I think they fried theirs in oil, and I did air fryer Brussels sprouts, and then they used the butter emulsion, and I show you guys how to make that and make a different twist on it. And I made sweet chili heat Brussels sprouts, I think I called them.
Yeah.
And theirs were they weren't even sweet chili heat. They were something completely different. But I get inspired by some dishes. I'm like, I want to make that, but I need to change it and make it my own. And that's usually how it starts. I'm like scrolling through TikTok or on Instagram, like, oh, that's a great idea. And then I'll go ahead and start playing with it and making tweaks to it that I think it should have been made in the first place, or make it my own.
You do that at restaurants too, where you get something and you're like, oh, this would be so much better if they did this.
Yeah, that happens a lot. It's like, oh, they should have did this. You tell them to please leave. Okay.
There's a couple comments. Jeb says my Christmas drink is coquito. Have you heard of that one?
Coquito? No.
Coquito.
No, I've never heard of that one.
And Canada Ducky says, my son and I invented a dish that took 12 years to make just right.
What's that? I want to know what this dish is.
I'll let you know when they come back with that one.
If they're still on?
I'm sure.
Sometimes people leave and you're like, I want to know the more of the story. Well, it's something for the stuffing, so room my table. Which we have built custom for this little area.
Taco meatloaf.
Taco meatloaf sounds delicious. Please tell me more about that. What makes it a taco meatloaf?
Seasoning, maybe? Just seasoning and cheese? I don't know.
Is there tortillas in it? Do you use that instead of breadcrumbs? Are they soaked in hot? I want to know details here. Are we using dried up tortillas with some sauce, hot sauce? Ooh, that'd be good. New idea.
Well, we have to get Canada Ducky over to do something together.
Guys, if you haven't made this, make it. It's so good.
If you could cook with one famous chef, who would it be?
Probably Gordon Ramsay. I followed Gordon Ramsay before he became famous over here in North America, so I would love to cook with him for a day. That would be amazing. And outside of him, his rival or someone he doesn't like, I would love to cook with Jamie Oliver. I always like Jamie. He's very family oriented. It's kind of like where I'm too. I'm more of just make it. It's all good. Don't stress about it. We're cooking for home. Family. It's going to be good no matter what. I mean, unless you really mess it up. But even then, I doubt you're messing up that bad. I'm going to try to get people back in the kitchen. Which I want. I find a lot of people don't cook anymore. It's kind of sad. I wish people would cook more. It's a very relaxing, fun thing to do. Unless you get my wife to cook and then she just stresses the whole time.
I'm not a good cook.
She has a bar to live up to because she cooks for me, so she's like, I'm gonna be judged.
When I met you, I was making Norse sidekicks and burgers, and that was like all I made.
Is the monitor on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm watching.
We have our baby sleeping. Let's make sure she's well heard.
Yeah. What is cojito cheese good with?
Ooh. Like anything. It's like a salty cheese. It's like feta. It's fresh. It's really good. Eggs, tacos, anything really you can put cheese on. Like I would put it on anything. I'm more of a, I don't use it a lot. Just because I would eat a lot of it, and I don't have a lot of space in my fridge for all the cooking I do. But if I do get it, I put on like eggs, like in an omelet. So I would put it, or in quesadillas.
Well, Jeff replied with what that drink was. So cojito is a Puerto Rican twist on eggnog made with creme de coconut, cinnamon, star anise, and rum.
Oh, my kind of drink. I like it.
I have two questions. How do you describe your style of cooking? And can you tell us more about your travel and food?
Okay, my style of cooking is very rustic, very down to earth, because I try to teach people, and I want to teach people it's okay to make mistakes, because I make them all the time. I'm in the kitchen, I'm messing stuff up. I burnt something the other day because I wasn't paying attention. That's my style, is just to not stress too much about it, have fun with it. Like, teach people to have fun with cooking, not to overthink it, overcomplicate it. You get on TikTok or Instagram, you get all these people going, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, you need to do this, you're doing this wrong. You're making this wrong, you're not traditional with this. Like, I make tzatziki, and the amount of people who get mad at me for making tzatziki with dill drives me nuts. It's a personal choice, it's your food. Make it however you want to make it. Don't let anyone tell you not to make it that way, but it's very personal, and I just want to get people to cook and teach, and I think that comes through in my style. I've done fine dining. That can be very stressful. It's fun, I enjoy it, but I'm more of a rustic cook, and I like down-to-earth, simple, comfort food. I'm from a very comfort food province in Canada, and I like people cooking, and I find that comes through in my cooking. And then what was the other part of that question?
Well, there's another question about your travel. To talk about when you travel for food.
Oh, it's my favorite thing to do. I love it. I love trying new things. I love getting around and trying stuff. During COVID, towards the end of it, Greece was opened up for us to travel. So I said, we need to go. I had a travel bug. I need to go. We were cooped up for 2 years. I was like, I gotta go. So we stayed in Greece for a whole month. Month and a half? No, month. And we started the very southern part of Greece in Crete. Which is my favorite Greek island. It's probably my favorite place in Greece. I think it's also Shannon's. Crete is a little island, big island. It's the biggest island in Greece, with some very unique flavors and styles and dishes. Very seafood oriented and tasty food. I will try anything when I'm out traveling. We do a lot of research when we go.
A lot.
Like a lot.
So much.
We spent hours upon hours. Like even our last trip. We spent hours every night. We would go and sit down, check out the area we're in, and then where we need to go eat. What's got the best reviews? What are the hidden gems?
I sit and analyze menus like crazy and reviews.
Yeah, there's a lot of planning goes into it. Sometimes we get there and we can't get to the restaurant. We went to one of them in Couture. It was a meat restaurant with very high reviews. But we were there at lunch and we were on a cruise and we only had so much time. And it would have been way too long to get into it. We never got to get to it.
I've even gone to some restaurants that you know where it is and you know it has good stuff, but you go through the area, as you're walking through the area, you're like, oh no, is this a mistake? We're going here. Had a couple of those.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. And now we got the new experience of traveling with an infant or a baby, a toddler now. She's a toddler. When we brought her to Greece 2 months ago. We brought her to a Greek taverna. And oh my God, it's a different experience traveling with a little kid. She loved the food and music. Like she was in her chair dancing to all the. Yeah, see, she's smiling there now. She's dancing.
And she has woken up from her nap.
She has arisen. She was dancing in her chair to all the Greek music. She loved it. So traveling with her, I think she's a little travel bug. She loves food. She loves people. So my travel experiences are changing. But I think we're going to hit Spain and Portugal next time we go, right?
Yep.
So Greece is going to be left behind for a bit. As much as I love Greece, I also love other countries and love other types of food.
We spent a lot of time in Greece too.
Because we have,
It's time to be fair to everyone else.
it should be fair. We have family and friends there. That's why we go there a bit more. And we love it. I love the culture. I've always loved Greek culture. Yeah, when I started cooking for Greek people and just the food. Like my cookbook, I try to give you authentic, but also my take on some food over there and the best versions of it. So yeah, I travel for food when I travel, and I love it.
Question: where were you trained?
I was trained in Newfoundland at a little college called Academy Canada. Fun fact, actually, I still keep in contact with my chefs, don't we, Shannon?
Yes.
Every time I go to Newfoundland, I have a little Tim Hortons coffee date with him. Sit down to go over everything. He's a great man. But I was trained in Newfoundland in college. College Newfoundland is the competitor to the school I went to. Yeah, I did the culinary arts program. I did competitions when I was there. I did Canada's Next Great Chef. I got silver in that. I did Skills Canada. I judged for Skills Canada in Newfoundland. It was great. It was fun. Would I do cooking school if I was going to be a chef today? My chef would shoot me, but I'd say no. It has its perks, its ups and downs. You'll learn a lot of technique, but you don't learn the food industry the same way as if you didn't just did it. When I was fresh out of school, oh boy, I had a lot to learn. I thought I knew everything. I knew nothing, and I'd rather save that money because it cost me about $20,000 to do cooking school, and I'd rather save that money and not have to pay that back and learn it from just paying my dues, going up from the bottom to the top. I think you got to be picky where you work to make sure you're taught the right things. You got to use your brain sometimes to go, I don't think that's right, and do your own research and pick the place you want to start. But if I was to start again, I probably wouldn't do school. I would probably jump right in and get my feet and hands dirty and start cooking. But I've lost my person who tells me all the questions. I don't know where she went, so let's have a look on.
I have a comment.
You have a comment? Oh, you got your phone with you?
I got it. I know she has passed, but my inspiration was Julia Child. I have a copy of her 2-volume book, Mastering the Art of French Cooking, which she has autographed.
Oh, that's awesome.
Love to have cooked with her.
I was just watching an episode of hers while I was in Newfoundland. We were chilling out, relaxing, and she made a mushroom omelet, and I really want to make it. It looks so good. So I'm probably going to do a video on that and making Julia Child's French omelet with cheese sauce and mushrooms.
Oh, it looked like 10,000 calories.
Oh, it was so good though. We're going to do a video on it. I'm going to do it. Maybe people will go, oh look, that's different. It's heartbreaking. There's so many cooking videos go up on YouTube and Instagram. It's hard. Like, so many people out there, but doing it this 3-4 years now, we're still going. Still getting people following us. Some people like me.
That's all I got for questions right now.
I'm gonna check my Instagram account later. There's gonna be like 1,000 questions to enter in. You can't check it while it's online.
I can't check it.
Is it working still?
Yeah.
Sorry guys, we're on batteries. I didn't think of plugging things in, but we got lots. Oh man, we can go for like 4 more hours.
Are you calorie conscious when you cook?
Okay, we're going to talk about that in 2 seconds. Because a little longer. I lost a ton of weight before the baby. I was like at the weight I wanted to be, and I was watching all my calories. I should say, kind of and kind of not. In the beginning, I watched a lot of calories. I was calorie conscious, but over time of eating that way, you kind of know what calories are enough and what are not, like how much food to eat. But then my wife got pregnant and we had a baby and things got stressful, and I kind of just started eating whatever and whenever. I didn't have time. I was doing this, that. I gained a lot of my weight back, which starting in January or in 3 days, I need to get rid of it again because I'm not happy with it. I was down to a nice, perfect weight I loved, and my wife's like, we need to go out hiking again. We haven't hiked in 2 years. We hiked all the time. We live in the Rockies, so we're always hiking, and that helps a lot. But when it comes to eating, for For the most part, I'm pretty conscious. I usually eat maybe 2 meals a day, and a couple snacks. Mornings, I'm not really hungry in the mornings, so I eat less food in the mornings. I'm more of a dinner time person. I like having a good dinner. Like I'd rather have more calories in my dinner than my meals in the day. Like I feel better that way. Like I'll have a lighter, like if I have breakfast, it's probably yogurt and some fruit. If I have lunch, it's like a super sandwich. And then dinner is usually where I get more of my calories, but it's pretty balanced. I eat pretty balanced diet when I'm doing it. But yeah, I kind of watch, and then I know, like, I'll keep an eye on the scale too, and like as a guy, I don't really, if I'm up a pound or two, I don't freak out. I'm like, whatever, it's part of it. Water weight, don't stress. But I've been doing it for a couple years, losing weight, and I kind of know what I need to do. I don't stress too much, but yeah, I'll watch the calories here and there. If I find I'm going up constantly, like the scale keeps going up, I'll go, okay, what have I eaten last week? What's causing this? And if I can't figure it out, then maybe I'll start watching the calories more. But usually it's like, you had a few cheeseburgers this week, more than you should have, or pizzas. Yeah, but if I'm cooking it, I know what's in it, so I won't use as much oil. Or like if I have a lot more calorie dense foods, it's on a weekend where it's, I'm not stressing too much. And like I don't binge on a weekend, but I'll have my nachos for a treat on Friday night with a movie. But then during the week I'll have my veggies and my proteins and all that fun stuff. I make them flavorful taste. I like healthy food taste good. It's a big thing. I won't eat broccoli and chicken. Ugh. Every meal. I don't know how people do that. There's a balance. It's all about balance. Right, Aoife? Yes. Can you say hi? Can you say hi to everyone? Hi.
Say it out loud.
Can you say it out loud? She's shy. Any more questions? Yeah.
It's the middle of the night. What are you grabbing for a snack?
Leftovers in the fridge. If there's no leftovers, a grilled cheese sandwich. I love a good grilled cheese sandwich. Easy, quick, tasty, or scrambled egg. One of the two. Let's have a look at our stuffing. Alright, so that's been in what? Half an hour? Give or take? A little bit more? Woo! Look at that. So the top, you can go in for a bit longer actually. But the top crisps up. It's nice and soft on the inside. I'm gonna leave it in for like 5 to 10 minutes. At this point, if that was covered in tinfoil, you're probably good. As long as it's hot and it's already cooked, right? As long as it's hot and heated up, it's good to go. I want that to crisp a bit more on top. I like a nice browning. Maybe we can pop this up to 400 actually. Perfection, 400. Start. Whew.
What do you love most about what you do?
What do I love most about what I do? Is teaching you guys. I love it. Getting your feedback, comments, doing all that stuff. That's my favorite part. The least favorite part, honestly, is when I have to record voiceover. I hate voiceover, like doing the recipes. I'm not good at speaking prepared stuff. I tongue twist, tongue tie, mess things up. You should see my B-roll or my deleted scenes. Like I'm constantly saying the same thing over 16 times because I'm trying to say it right, or I need to slow down my speech because I'm speaking too fast. Because I'm a Newfoundlander, and we speak very fast. But my favorite is definitely interacting with you guys, doing these. I love having fun with you guys. Questions, helping you out. If I can make you a better home cook, that's what I enjoy the most. Yeah, that is definitely my favorite part.
So many chefs use a lot of salt to add flavor, but it's so unhealthy. It raises your blood pressure. Any comments?
I think that's a hard one.
Because you're not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor, so don't take me personally. The other thing is it's got to taste good. And if you think it's too salty, use less salt. I think it's a very personal thing. Definitely use herbs and other flavors to help bring the flavors up, but salt brings out the flavor. It intensifies the flavor. So I do agree. A lot of people use a lot of salt, but also if you're using things like kosher salt, like in my prime rib video or my steak videos, it looks like a lot. If you actually weigh it out, it's actually not a lot. It's just its volume is bigger than what actually is. I cook with salt. I don't I cook with it enough till it tastes good. I don't over season things. If it's, I'll add a bit at a time until it's the point I want it. But that's a very personal thing. I think you need to do what's best for your health, but also enjoying the food. If that's the best way to answer that. Because, again, Newfoundlanders eat a lot of salt, which I'm not a fan of. They have boiled meat that's all salted fish. And I'll have it once in a while. It's not something I'll eat every day. But again, very personal thing. If your doctor says cut your salt back, cut your salt back. I've had that happen to me because I've had high blood pressure from being overweight. And cutting the salt back. My biggest thing for me though to drop my blood pressure is weight loss. When I gain weight, my blood pressure goes up. When I lose it goes down. The salt really doesn't affect it as much. But salt will affect it. But again, not a doctor. Listen to your doctor. Do what's best for you.
What made you become a chef?
What does an Uncle Gary said when we were in Newfoundland? I thought that would be perfect to tell.
Oh, that you were like a 6-year-old watching.
When I was 3. I was 3 years old, sitting on the couch watching cooking shows. Walk with Jan?
Yes.
Jan? And the Urban Peasant. All those cooking shows. When I was a toddler, 2 years older than her, my child, I was watching cooking videos on like CBC, like TV, like any channel. I'd sit down and watch them for hours. I was just so thrilled with cooking. And the funny part was, I didn't originally want to become a chef as I grew up. I wanted to go into video production. Kind of what I do now. Kind of funny. When I was in high school and I got into an AV course with my teacher, Mr. Barron, and he bought these Macs. These iMacs, these brand new, the colored ones, the big monitor colored ones. He bought those. I'm starting to date it now, how old I am. And I was playing with it and editing, and I got really into editing graphics, or editing videos. And I think I even competed in Skills Canada. Didn't win that at all. Failed completely when I started that up, because I just started playing with it. We had another competitor, actually Becky and Chris. If you ever heard of Becky and Chris, Chris was the one who won that competition. He's amazing. He's a huge YouTuber. Becky and Chris, they're on YouTube and Instagram. Love them. Check them out. But he won that competition. I didn't. But we both ended up in the same game doing this. But after that, after high school, I was kind of like, what do I want to do? And I just wanted to start cooking again. I was like, I need to pick a career. And I didn't know if I want to do AV or any video editing at that point as a career. So I'm going back to what I used to do, cooking, and what I loved. And I applied for school and kind of went from there. And as I always dabbled with video. I've had cameras when I was in cooking school. Wanted to start this kind of stuff on YouTube and Instagram before it was even a thing. But I just started late because I went into cooking and just got distracted from all this, and I started my YouTube career way later than I should have. Should have done it way earlier. Maybe a lot popular than I am right now. But yeah, no, that's kind of what started me in cooking. Is just being a kid and being in the kitchen. Newfoundland, there's a lot of grandmas cooking too, and I learned how to cook from them and mom. And I was always in there helping out, chopping stuff up and eating stuff. Yeah, that's how it started. That's how the Food-Dee started.
Have you ever competed?
Yes, I've competed in Knorr's, or Knorr, whatever it said, Next Great Chef, and I competed in Skills Canada. And a couple local things in the school, but got silver medal, it's upstairs. I have a frame, well, trying to frame it. We have a box for it. But had a few little awards, it was good. They're very stressful competitions, but they're also very fun. I know, I kind of got tossed in the last second for that one. I was told I didn't qualify. 3 days before the competition, I qualified. They gave us a call. Oh, we were supposed to tell you qualified. With politics, I guess, at schools, but either way, got into it and came out with silver with 3 days practice. Everyone else had like 2 weeks. I felt kind of good on that. It's like, yeah, there's some skills. The baby's waving to everyone. Oh, here we go. Woo! Nice and brown on top. There we go. Look at that. Tasty, crispy. My favorite. Any more questions?
No.
No one's talking to me. We have 3 people on YouTube.
Oh, no, wait. Jeff says, I am the custodian of the family recipe, some dating to late 1890s. Our Hunz's scraps of paper. Any suggestions on how to organize them?
That's a question
Or
for
good
you.
software?
That's you.
Oh, I don't know. I'd probably just start with kind of arranging them by the type of food, like most cookbooks do.
Your appetizers or your
Yeah,
salads.
your appetizers,
or your soups.
salads, soups, dinners. And
Small.
work on meals and stuff like that. Well, okay, here's these meats, here's these meats.
Yeah.
Hey, if they're on scraps of paper, though, I'd probably start separating them by what's legible and what's not.
Yeah, that would be it. Organizing. Software? What kind of software?
Oh, that I have no idea, man.
What do I use? YouTube, was it Apple Notes?
Yeah, you use notes. I use Pages, and I write things down in actual.
I use Notes for all my recipes. Like, that's how I organize it. I write it down, it goes in that, and then it goes into... I just share that with Shannon to edit it for me. Make it legible.
I would check out
Oh, it's good.
sorting it out first to see what you got, because me and my sister actually went through my mother's recipes a while ago, because for years we kept asking her for the fruit salad that you hate recipe.
And the shortbread one that's here hanging on our fridge?
And the shortbread one. And every year she'd give us a different recipe, and we'd be like, that's not what you
This is
gave
the real
us
one.
last year. And finally me and my sister figured it out when we went through her box of recipes. She had like 4 or 5 different versions of the same thing, so she thought every year she was giving us the same one, but every year she'd pull out a different recipe, tell us. We'd be like, that's not what you gave me last year.
Yeah, organization is key. And making sure you get them digital, and so in case anything, a fire happens or anything like that, you don't lose your recipes. And back them out like 6 times. I have a book, so I have a book here in the kitchen. I'm writing recipes. All my recipes are in white. There we go. And that for right now as I cook and trial and error. Like I said, sometimes I hit it, sometimes I don't. Then there's scratches everywhere, and then my recipe looks like this. Let's see, like this. And then Shannon goes, "How am I fixing those chicken scratches?"
Yeah, sometimes it takes a while to decipher your writing.
I didn't have time. When you're in the kitchen and you're writing down stuff, you're literally like as fast as you can, scratching down your own little hieroglyphs and code that only you know how to read it, so no one else can steal your recipe ideas. True. It's my. Oh, this is really good stuff, you guys. It could be improved with some more stuff, but it is still good. Newfoundlanders, my people, good job.
Who's relaying the questions?
What?
Who's relaying the questions?
Who? You.
Oh, I know someone's asking.
My wife and the baby.
Yeah, she's helpful.
Here, do you want to say hi? Stop being safe. Yes.
She's like, hey.
Oh,
Belly.
say hi. You waved everyone? Say hi, my name is Aoife. No?
She's like,
she's
I'll
like, I
take
see-
some of that.
She's like, I see the food. Can I have some, Dad? You can't have this. Is hot. You see? Look at that.
Can you wave, say hi?
No,
No, I woke up from a nap and I'm not in the mood.
She's like, there was food there and I want it. Now she's looking at it.
Yeah, now she knows there's food.
Bye-bye. Oh, we upset her. Any more questions?
I don't got any.
No one else? Let's see what Instagram got here. Oh, we've dropped more people. All right. What's this button do? Ah, there is a question. Are you using Mount Scio Savory? And where do you get it? I am using Mount Scio Savory. I bought a 1 pound bag in Newfoundland when I was there a couple of weeks ago for $70, $60. I think you can get it at like Sobeys if you're in Canada. Sobeys carries a Newfoundland section, I think, in most of their places. That's where I've got it before. It's very expensive if you're the further away from Newfoundland you go. It's still expensive in Newfoundland. $60 for a pound of savory is crazy. Like, so, but I don't. I rather just buy a big bunch of it. I go through it. I make it airtight so it lasts a while. But yeah, Mount Scio. I use that stuff. I don't use. I think there's like Silk Road Savory and stuff. I don't use that. They have Summer Savory, which I'm pretty sure this is Summer Savory, just from Mount Scio. I don't think it's a difference. Haven't really tried the other stuff. This slush is so good. Should make a big batch, guys. Like a recipe there. Alright, this is a lot harder when I don't have someone reading out questions. Let's see. Top chat. Didn't remove the sticker from the bottom. I'm assuming from this, I probably didn't. I probably didn't pay attention. It's a new container. That is very hot. Still, haven't burnt my hand. You're missing some of the questions.
Well, yeah, I had to get it.
Is the sticker on the bottom of this?
I don't know.
I need to look. I can't look. That's all I got. There
Yeah.
is a sticker. It was washed. It was washed. It just wasn't scrubbed off.
Says she's so cute. Whose food does she steal from?
Daddy's. Always daddy's food.
She steals mommy's drinks most of the time.
Steals her drinks.
I can't have water or anything.
Oh yeah, if you have a drink in your hand,
Coffee?
she's like, coffee. Oh, if you have a coffee in your hand, like a cup like this, and you're drinking a coffee and you're holding her, she goes and reaches out and she goes, hot. And you're like, don't touch it. And she's like, hot. Don't you, Aoife? Oh, the look she's giving me right now.
Do you use your herbs up in a year?
Oh yeah, I usually go through mine pretty quickly because I'm doing a lot of cooking. Like I don't just cook for me, I cook for clients as well, for videos and stuff and photos. So I go through a lot of herbs pretty quickly. There's a couple I don't go through as much. Like I don't go through much as cumin or curry powder, things like that. I take longer, but I'll taste the herb after a couple months. If it's still good and fresh, I'll eat it. If not, I'll restock it or throw it in something that doesn't. I'm not too worried about. I try not to waste food as much as possible. Try to use as much as I can. But I try to go through my herbs as fast as possible. My seasonings, usually they're in a container. Like oregano, how fast do we go through oregano?
Pretty fast.
That's not that long.
Oh, I got a plant and I keep cutting fresh.
We use fresh and dried. During the summer, we use a lot of fresh herbs, dills, things like that. My dried dill I find lasts the longest because you don't need a lot of dill. Like it overpowers. And nutmeg. I use whole cloves of nutmeg. I find those last a while. But you only need a small amount of nutmeg and stuff. It's just so overpowering. I've made a mistake and added too much before. It's a lot.
The follow-up to that one is I've had to throw away so many herbs because they lose their flavor.
Yeah, I think the best thing is getting a small container. Buy more the ones you use more often, and a smaller container for the ones you use less. Or buy bulk and only grab it as you need it. Like star anise, I think this is one herb I've had here for a while. I can't get to it; it's blocked by the table. But I think that's been there a while. I think it's time to change that one out. Like I reuse star anise probably once a year, maybe. But you can't buy it. It's just a big bag of it.
What's your favorite spice?
I like oregano and thyme and rosemary. Oh no, saffron's good too. I don't know. I like a lot of spices. I don't have one particular one because it depends on the meal I'm making. I add coriander to certain things. I hate. What is it?
Cilantro?
Cilantro.
I love cilantro.
Like I don't find it tastes like soap like most people or some people. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's just too strong. Maybe a little bit, but I won't turn down a meal because that's cilantro. I'll eat it, but it's not my favorite. I think it's my least favorite. But for favorites, I like a lot of spices and herbs. If I was to stick to the basics, probably oregano and rosemary and thyme. Those are the top three I use the most. Just because the ones I've always used. Use them a lot. Cooking school.
Canada Ducky says my family has fallen in love with smoked paprika.
It's one of those spices. I also agree. It's you gotta use a small amount. Too much, it's overpowering. But I also use a lot of smoked paprika. It's that and basic paprika.
I only recently learned what paprika was.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's red pepper. I didn't know. I had no idea.
Sweet red pepper. Sweet bell pepper.
Yeah. Just pepper. Like I thought it was
So
an
like
actual
regular
spice.
paprika doesn't have a lot of flavor, but it helps intensify flavors of other foods. Smoked paprika has a flavor. And I find if you use too much, it can be overpowering.
That's all we have for
That's
questions.
it for questions. What time is it? We also have to go to.
3:35.
What time we go for night lights? We're gonna have to watch the lights with the baby, so.
In like an hour.
So we gotta clean up, get ready. All right, I think we're gonna call it here, guys. I think it's been a good session. If you haven't sent a question over to my chat on Instagram or an email, even email me if it's on YouTube and you because I don't think you send messages on YouTube. Send me a chat or send me an email at info@ajhuzzy.ca with the question. If I didn't ask it, that's fine. I'll still enter you into the draw to win one of the prizes. Yeah. If you still have questions, email me or message me. I will gladly ask them or answer them. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays. Whatever you do, enjoy it. Take a few days to relax. If you're going to be in the kitchen cooking, like I won't be, good luck. Just don't stress. Have fun. And I think that's it. Food-Dee out. I think we'll do Food-Dee out. Food-Dee out.
Throw the towel at this camera.
Food-Dee out! Oh, I got one here. That's still hot. Let's not do that. All right, guys. Have a Merry Christmas. Happy Holidays. And I'll see you before the new year. How do I end this thing now? I don't know.